You are watching Auth Masterclass, and today we are going to discuss about multi-factor authentication. So in last video we completed token based authentication, and on top of that we are going to use multi-factor authentication or two-factor authentication, right? So what will happen on this? So as usual you will enter your username and password, right, to do the login. But now one additional step that you have to do, you have to enter a 6-digit OTP. So the traditional way of doing OTP is by sending a SMS, right? In SMS you would send the 6-character OTP, and that will be entered by the user. Then only you will do the authentication, or alternatively you can send it through the email, right? But in this course what we are going to do, we are neither going to use the SMS nor the email. We are going to use another fundamental concept called as TOTP, that is time-based OTP, right? So in this OTP system, what will happen? We will configure a mobile app, and based on this configuration, it will generate OTP for us. Something similar to this app that I'm showing you here, right? So here I have a free OTP app. Okay. So in my day-to-day work, I use another OTP app, right? There are multiple OTP apps like Google Authenticator, Microsoft Authenticator, right? So I decided for the demo purpose, I'll just download a free OTP app, right? So if I open this one, right, so if you see Auth Masterclass, that is the app name, okay, and you are seeing admin, so that is the username, right? And if I open this one, you see I'm getting OTP, right, 059279, right? And after a certain amount of time it will be changed, right? So this is the fundamental concept of time-based OTP. So there is a algorithm that is running behind this, and it needs a key, right? So we will generate a key on the backend, and that same key we will configure it on the mobile device, on the app, right? So when you open the app, it will always keep on regenerating new OTP after every 30 seconds, right? Once the 30 seconds is elapsed, it will regenerate another OTP, right? Now what you have to do, you have to enter this OTP along with your username and password, and server, based on the configuration, it will do the validation whether this OTP is correct or not, and then it will generate you the refresh token and access token, right? So this is the flow that we are going to see. I'll show you how the mobile device is configured, okay, how and what backend code goes behind this configuration, right? So let us quickly write the code to configure 2FA or two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication in the project that we are building, right? So let us start that. So for this I'll install two libraries, okay. One is to generate the OTP, and another is to generate QR code, right? Now where we are going to generate the QR code? So the configuration object, okay, that we are going to send it to the mobile. How we are going to send it? We are going to send it through a QR code, okay. So in the app you have the option to scan a QR code. Once you scan that QR code, it will automatically access the secret that we have sent through the URL, that is sent as a QR code, right? So the same secret is available in the backend as well as on the phone. So phone will keep on generating OTP based on the secret, and when we are on the login validation, we will do the validation for the OTP based on the same key that we have stored in our system, right? So let us do that. So for this, what I will do, I will say npm install, okay, I will say OTP lib, okay, and I will say npm install, okay, QR code, right? Great. So now these two library that we are going to use is installed, okay. Now what I will do, I will go to user schema, right, and we added the token version in the last video, right? And here I want to add two more properties, okay. First one is TOTP secret, okay, and this is going to be of type string, okay, and another field is TOTP enabled, okay. So I will say type of boolean, okay, and it will default to false. That means this is going to be a voluntary operation, right? So OTP is not a forced option, right, in most of the case, but again it depends on your business need. Now if you want to enforce TOTP for every user, feel free to do that, right? For my scenario, I'm not going to enforce it, but user will have the option to opt in, right? So that's why I'm saying is TOTP enabled, and if it is enabled, I will store the secret. Okay, great. Now what I will do, I will create a new service. Okay, and in this service I'm going to write all the logic to set the secret as well as send the QR code. Okay, so what I will do, I will create a new file and I will mark it as TOTP.service.ts. okay, and I will add my first method, export const TOTP setup service equals to, okay, I will mark it as async, and of course this is going to take the request and response, and I will add the function body. Now here first thing what I have to do, I have to get the username. Which username? The username for which we are going to set up the TOTP, right? So I will say const username equals to request.body, right? Now based on this username, I will go to the database and find the user. So I will say const user equals to await, okay, user dot find one. Okay, find one how? By the user name. Okay, so we will get a user object, right? So if not of user, that means if this user doesn't exist, we will throw error, right? So what I will do, I'll copy this line and paste it here. So what I will do, I'll paste this line. Okay, so that means this user is not found. Now if this user is found, what we will do, we are going to import our two libraries first. Okay, so I will say import OTP lib from, okay, from OTP lib, okay, and import QR code from QR code. Okay, great. Now what I will do, I will say const secret equals to OTP lib dot authenticator dot generate secret. Okay, so what this will do, this will generate a secret for me. Okay, now what I will do, I will create a OTP auth variable. Okay, OTP auth, which is going to use this secret. Okay, so what this will do, OTP lib dot authenticator dot key URI. Okay, now here is the interesting part, what information you want to show on the app. Okay, so if you want, you can show the username, user first name, whatever is available in your database, right? So for this I am going to say user dot username. Okay, and then the title of the app, what app it is, right? So I am going to say Auth Masterclass. Feel free to give your project name or your app name or your product name, right? And then it will take the secret that we have created in the first step, right? We are able to generate our OTP auth, right? Now what we are going to do, we have the user object, right? So user dot TOTP secret, right? So TOTP secret equals to the secret that I have generated, right? So this value I will assign that, right? Now if you see, I am only setting up the TOTP secret, right? Now if you remember, we have added this boolean value. This I am not going to enable now. Okay, it should remain false. When I will enable this, when the user will scan the QR code, okay, and after that for the first time it has to enter the OTP once. Okay, once the user is successfully entered the OTP and we are able to do the validation for the first time, okay, the secret we will keep, and then we will mark the is OTP enabled flag to true, right? So when the user is able to do first time successful OTP validation, okay, at that time we will mark this as true, right? So the secret we have added. Okay, so I will say await, then user dot save, right? Then I will say const QR code, okay, equals to await. Okay, I'm going to use the QR code library dot to buffer. Okay, to buffer what? The OTP auth. Okay, so this will create the QR code for me. Then response dot set header. Okay, what header we will send? We will say content type. Okay, what will be the content type? It will be image/png. Okay, then res dot send. What we will send? We will send the QR code. Okay, great. Now this TOTP service, okay, we will attach it to our routes. Okay, so for this, what I will do, I'll create a new route path. Okay, so for this I'm going to say router.post. Okay, I will say setup TOTP. Okay, and what this will take, this is going to take the service function, which is TOTP setup service. Okay, so I will say TOTP setup service. Okay, now I'll open Postman. Okay, and I will open the collection. I will go to setup TOTP. Okay, and here username is admin. Okay, so let us see what will happen if I hit this URL. And before that, what I have to do, I have to start my server. So I'll say npm run dev, and let us see if we have any error anywhere. Okay, we'll fix that and then we'll move to the Postman. So one error. Okay, so here it should be schema.js. Okay, so now successfully connected to DB and server is running on port 8000. Okay, so now we will go to the setup TOTP and we will send the request. Okay, and if you see, it is saying 404 not found. Okay, why is that? Because I missed this slash. Okay, so let it start again. Okay, and I will send the request. See, now we are able to generate a QR code, right? Great. Now this is the QR code that contains the secret embedded into this, right? So now what we have to do, we have to open our TOTP app. It could be any app, right? Google Authenticator or any free other OTP app, right? And even if you want, you can write your own app, right? It's not a big deal, right? So what I will do, I will open my phone, right? And what I have done, I have removed the previous demo account that I have added, right? So now what I will do, so if you see, there is a QR scanning code option. Okay, so what I will do, I will click on that, right? So with that, I'll be able to scan. Okay, then what you can do, if you want, you can choose an icon for this one. Okay, then you can say next, right? And then it will ask you for other security stuff based on the app that you are using, right? So it is saying, do you want to use the phone lock, right? So I'm not going to activate this one. I'll go to next. Okay, so if you see, I have the Auth Masterclass admin. Okay, now when I click on this one, it will start generating TOTP for me, right? Great. So now in my phone, the TOTP app is configured. Okay, now what I have to do, I have to write the logic, okay, to set up, to do the authentication for the first time, right? So for that, what I will do, I'll come to OTP service. Okay, and I will minimize this function. Okay, and I will write one more function here. I am going to say export const. Okay, I will say verify OTP service. Okay, this is going to be async. Okay, and this will take the request and response. Okay, then first thing first, what I have to take, I have to take the username as well as the OTP, right? So I will say const username. Okay, and I will say OTP. This will come from request.body, right? Then what we will do, we'll find the user based on this username, right? So const user equals to await user dot find one. Okay, and find one how? By the user name. Okay, then if not user, okay, then what we will do, we will throw error, right? Because this user doesn't exist, that means something mischievous is happening, right? So we will throw the error. Okay, and one more validation we will do here, or okay, or user, okay, user dot TOTP secret. Okay, so this should also be there, right? So if this is not there, okay, see, user is trying to verify the OTP, right? But this user should have the OTP secret, then only we can do the validation, right? So the user should exist and the user should have the TOTP secret. If this condition doesn't match, we will return the error. Okay, if you want, you can change the error message here, right? I'm just, for the purpose of this video, I'm just keeping it like this. Okay, then what I will do, I will say const is OTP, okay, valid equals to, okay, what I'm going to use, I'm going to use the OTP lib, okay, and I will say authenticator dot check. Okay, now this will take the OTP. Okay, this will take the OTP, and what else this is going to take? This is going to take the user dot TOTP secret. Okay, then only it will be able to verify this, right? Now if is OTP valid, okay, now if the OTP is valid, what we will do, we will say user dot is TOTP enabled to true, right? Then I will say await user dot save, right? So we'll save it to the database. Then we will say res dot status of 200, okay, and JSON I will say message TOTP is set up successfully for your account. Okay, this is not the case. Then what we can do, we can say res dot status, okay, 401, and what we can say JSON, okay, and we will say message, okay, and I will say invalid OTP. Okay, great. So now we will be able to validate the OTP, right? Now what we will do, we will go to auth, okay, and what I will do, I will say router dot post, okay, slash I will say verify TOTP setup. Okay, then what function this will call? This will call the verify TOTP function from the service layer. Okay, great. Now I will come to Postman. Okay, now I'll go to verify TOTP setup. Okay, and here if you see, I'm sending admin and OTP. Okay, so now I will open my app. Okay, I'll go to this particular TOTP setup. Okay, and what it is saying, it is giving me the OTP, right? So 477712. Okay, for now I'll not send 12, let me send 13. Okay, wrong TOTP, right? And we'll see. So it says invalid OTP, right? So what I will do, I'll quickly update it to, right now it has generated another OTP, so let me enter that one. So it says 231 then 407. Okay, so now if you see, when I entered the correct OTP, it is saying TOTP is set up successfully for your account, right? Then what I will do, I'll show you the compass, MongoDB compass. Okay, so it says TOTP is enabled and it has a TOTP secret, right? Great. Now what we can do, we will come to our code, and when we are doing the login, at that time what we can do, we can do the TOTP validation as well, right? And if the TOTP is valid, then only we will generate the auth tokens, right? So for this, what we will do, we will go to the login service. Okay, and here what we will do, we will take the OTP now. Okay, now this OTP, when we have to verify, let us do the password validation. Okay, and before generating the auth tokens. Okay, so for this, what I will do, I'll borrow some line from the TOTP service. Okay, so which line? I'll copy this line. Okay, so this is the line that is checking the OTP. Okay, right? So I'll come back to the login service. Okay, and if password is valid, then we will do the OTP validation. Okay, so this is the OTP coming from the user, and here we have the user schema, right? So from that we will get the TOTP secret, and we will go to the TOTP library authenticator and we will do the check. Okay, now if is OTP not valid, okay, what we will do, we will throw the error. Okay, so here we will say fail to login. Okay, so I'll mark it as 401. Okay, so if OTP is not valid, we will not allow the user to further login. Okay, but before doing this validation, we have to do one more validation, right? Whether the TOTP is enabled or not, right? So we have this is TOTP enabled. So for a user for whom the OTP is not enabled, for them we are not going to do this validation, right? So I'll wrap it around another if condition. Okay, if user dot is TOTP enabled, okay, then only we are going to do this validation. Okay, otherwise there is no point in doing the validation, right? Great. So now shall we test our flow? So I will go to login, okay, and here what I will do, I will add OTP, okay, and it will take some value. Okay, now what will happen if I give some random value like this? Okay, so when I send the request and it is throwing some error, right? So let us check. So it is saying OTP lib is not defined, right? So for this, what we will do, we will go to our TOTP service, okay, and I will copy this line, okay, and I will come back to my login service and I will save it. Okay, then I will come and I will send another request. Okay, so it is saying failed to login, right? So what I will do, I will come here, and here what I will do, just for our understanding, okay, I will change it to failed to verify OTP. Okay, and I will send the request. Okay, so now what it is saying, it is saying failed to verify OTP, right? Now what I will do, I'll take my phone, okay, I'll go to free OTP app, I'll open the Auth Masterclass, and what OTP it is saying, it is saying 192212, okay, and I will send the request, right? So I'll get the token back, right? Now what if, now what is the token it is saying? It is saying 652, okay, 583. So now if I send this one, I'll get the token, right? Now what will happen if I send this token after it has expired, right? So if you see a pi moving from here, so if you see a pi is moving from here, right, and it is now showing yellow, after some time it will show red. Okay, so now this TOTP is expired, right? So now I'll open that again and I'll send the old token. What will happen? It will say verify to fail to verify, right? So what I have to do, I have to send the correct OTP, right? So 291998. Okay, so I will send the request. Now I'll get back the token, right? Interesting, right? So without the TOTP, it will not allow us to log in. That means we will not get the token. And also in the cookies, if you see, it is sending the refresh token, the usual flow that we have seen in the previous video, right? So this is how you will configure the TOTP, right? Great. So now we have TOTP configured and we are able to send the OTP as part of our multi-factor authentication, right? So this is all for the multi-factor authentication in our Auth Masterclass. I really hope that you learned something new. Now you will be able to set up TOTP in your API. And if you like this video, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, because this is the kind of content I bring onto this channel, right? And I will see you in the next video of the Auth Masterclass series.